Hey guys, it's Justin from Top Notch Finishing here, and today I'm teaming up with Emtek hardware, and I'm going to be showing you how to make a very simple yet effective jig for routing out strikers for deadbolts and strikers for normal handles.
Alright, so right here is all you need for this project. You need a cutoff of 1/2 inch MDF. You'll need a glue. I'm using 2P10, which is a glue and an activator that you spray. It adheres immediately.
All right, so what we got going on here is we have one piece of 1 inch, which will be this piece, and we'll have 2 pieces of 7/8, which will be the outsides. I made a mock-up just to make sure everything was all dialed in. We're good to go. So this is what we're trying to do. Anyways, so what we got our 7/8, our 1 inch, and our 7/8. I'm gonna cut my 1 inch in half so that we can go and put this in between it so we can have this in there while we glue it up. All right, so this is what it's gonna look like before we glue it up. The very important part is dialing in this width. It took me a couple times to make sure that this was the exact width so it just will be able to slide in very nicely and snug. All right, so step 1. We're gonna make a little reference point on here of where we're gonna glue to. Just do that on both sides. I'm gonna use the adhesive part, not an ad. We're gonna use the spray. Pretty sure it's not bad for you. Can't confirm. Hand clamp, and literally like 5 seconds, and yeah, it's never coming apart. Next, put this in here, slide it to your piece, get your next one ready. Glue, spray, down, piece in, and clamp. So now your up and down is going to be perfect. After this, we're just going to sandwich it all together. Don't need this in there anymore. Use the glue on top. Just going to spray the whole thing. Which side do I want here? Hand clamp action. That's all it is. It's not very technical. Don't need any crazy tools. Fits in nice and snug, and that's what we want when we're going to be routering this out later. I'm going to cut this to size, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to be gluing it to this, and this will be basically our frame. So just a quick reference, so this sort of makes some sense, is it will be like this, doors here, clamp it to the door, router it out, we're good to go. All right, next step. All right, now we're going to glue the other side. So all I'm going to do now is sand this a little bit. I got a little bit of glue that's squeezed out here. There we go. That's the look we're going for. So this will be clamped to the door. This will be obviously out of here. We're going to be routering this out. And yeah, that's what I'll be showing you guys next. So now we have the jig. It's all glued together. This is a 1 3/4 inch door, just like upstairs. So since it's really close to my shop, I decided I was going to test it out here. So it's going to slide on nice. And what you'll be able to see is once all this hardware is off, we can line this up in the right place. We can clamp this on, and then we're going to router it out. So what's next is I'm going to show you what kind of router setup I have and what router bit you should be using. All right, and then all you need after that is a bit just like this,
it spins like this and it will follow along.
Okay, and since I have two of these, I have my jig, I have my extra piece, I figured I'd show you like how I would dial it in. So you also have the opportunity, before you actually glue this all together, you could also, like on a table, pre-do it into a scrap piece of wood and see if it works before you mess up your very expensive front door. So we have that bit in, like we talked about, and the next step you gotta do is try to get the depth. So what you wanna do is you wanna plunge your router till it hits the door, which is the piece of wood, and you lock it. After that, you have this area right here. So we have this guy right here. This is loosened now. And you wanna lock this in right there. And what that does is it locks in the depth. So now when you plunge it, that little depth right there, it's gonna be the depth of this. And then that's all you really need to do. Ready to go. Now you're ready to router. All right, up next, what you wanna do is, what I like to do is pre-plunge it into where that hole would be for this right here. If you move it a little bit, you'll notice that you're gonna hit where you're gonna router. So you wanna have it in place, ready to go. Now it's not gonna fluctuate up or down and screw up while you're cutting it. Lock that bad boy in. Make sure you're in the center. Grip it with Now what you'll see is that is routed out, and all we have to do now is get rid of that little access. So I'm going to take this off and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, for this I have a corner chisel. So when you hit down on this part right here, it chisels out in the corner. Make sure it's nicely set. Touch up. Gonna unclamp this and it should work. So I got it clamped down right now. So we bashed it with a mallet, and that's pretty good for a sample. Nice crisp lines. That is ready for the door.